Okay, so in this video, I'm gonna show you how to build a custom RAG agent step by step using n8n, and then how can you also modify it according to your particular use case. So in this video, what we are gonna do is we are gonna vector embed a particular book into a Postgres database. And for simplicity, we are going to use Supabase as our database where everything is going to be stored in a way that is convenient for the AI to retrieve data from. Okay. So to do that, there are basically two processes. So one process is that the number one thing that you need to do is basically first, the number one thing is that you need to vector embed, let's say, text into the database. And number two is that to get answers from it, you need to make a chatbot that will answer queries from this uh, vector embedded database. Okay. So this is a two-step process. So if you want to see the demo of how the chatbot is working, just skip this whole video and go to the end of this video around, let's say, 12 minutes or so. And you can see how it is answering all the questions from a particular book. And if you are interested on how to build this step by step, just follow along the video. Okay. So I will show you how to build RAG agent that would vector embed big documents inside a vector database like Supabase. And then how can you chat with large documents with precision? Okay. Its application would be, let's say there is a big fintech company with large documents and they need to check a particular rules or regulations about a particular use case. So what they can do is they can vector embed all those documents into this Supabase vector database and then ask questions from it. If they want, they can also write, let's say, a proposal using the rules at the place, etc. Currently, what we are going to do is we are going to drop a file into Google Drive, and then this AI agent will download that file from the Google Drive folder, and then it will vector embed all those text into a Supabase vector database. And then I'll show you the next process where we will be chatting with the book in real time. Okay. So let me just get the book dropped into the Google Drive folder. Okay, so this is an amazing book which I downloaded from the internet, and now I'm gonna drop this book into my Google Drive folder. This particular book from the Google Drive, we have chosen this folder ID. We're gonna copy this, and the type of this particular book is in PDF format. So we're gonna choose that. And the third thing is the name of this book. Okay. We are going to go to n8n. This is the query string, how we are going to search the book. So this would be the query. And then if I execute the step, you can see that the book is here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to execute this command. But before that, let me just tell you the setting. So here the job of this particular node is to download this book using this ID. This is the ID of the book, not the folder. And then we are gonna set up a book ID here. Okay. Now this book ID would be the unique ID of the book that would be vector embedded in our Supabase database. So this is the database that we are setting up. Here you can see this is the vector embedding. So in vector embedding, these are all mathematical metrics basically. This is the text. This text has been converted into a mathematical representation in a matrix format. That is what vector embedding is. Using a particular OpenAI model, and this is the metadata. Metadata is the data that is coming from the book, or let's say line number, chapter number, author's name, etc. Or you can also add your own metadata, which will help you to separate two different books. Okay, this is how it looks, metadata. So you can see here is the book ID for a previous book that I did during my testing. So for this new book, I'm gonna create a new ID. And whenever we are going to search something from a particular book, we are going to reference to this book ID while retrieving those details. Okay, so I'll come back to the n8n agent and let me just set up the edit fields node. So I'm going to execute this download file node, and the book will be downloaded. Since the book is a little bit longer, it is taking some time. You are going to wait. Okay, so this is the binary file where the text will be inserted into the next note. What we're gonna do is we're gonna keep this ID same, okay? So each time we don't have to create new IDs. Let me just check the number of it. Can we do that? Book title, new success secret. It is tested properly. Let me just fix this one as ID. I hope it works because there is some constraints basically with okay. Let me just execute the workflow. It is downloading the book through the edit field. And as you can see, it went into Supabase vector store. I'm going to show you the settings of the Supabase vector store in a minute. Let me just see if it is taking the ID properly. Yes, it is taking the ID. This is very important. So for vector embedding, we are using this particular model, text embedding 3 small. You can also choose large or small, but large is a little bit costly, but small is cheaper and does 90% of the job that the large model does. Okay. And for the data loader, we are going to choose default data loader. You can just add a tool here in Supabase vector node. These are the settings for the Supabase vector node. The operation would be insert document. While using the chatbot, we are going to use this one, retrieve document. So now the mode is insert documents. Table name is documents because that is the table name in my Supabase database. And embedding batch size is basically 1200. This is the size of the chunk that we are selecting. You can also make it smaller. Let's say if you want, if your data, if you have more data in less or in a small paragraph, let's say valuation of a particular company or details about, let's say, financial details, then in, let's say, in 3 lines, we'll have more data. So to get that particular data, you can decrease the embedding batch size. But since this is a book, we don't have those sensitive information like in a small paragraph. So we are going to choose a bigger batch size so that the context of the book is preserved. Okay. And then embedding I showed you. Let me show you how the data is being loaded. The type of data binary as I showed you. Then load all input data, automatically detect mind type. You can also choose if you have any particular data in mind only. Text splitting custom. And what is the splitting size of this custom text splitting? I'm going to show you here. So the chunk size is 1000 and chunk overlap is 200. Let me also set this as 1200 as it were here, right? Embedding batch size. And these are the metadata that I am storing. So I am storing this as the book ID. And this is the title of the book. So this will also be inserted as metadata in my Supabase table. So let me go back to my Supabase table now and let's see where are the data embedded. Okay, let me just open this particular row. And if we scroll down, you can see new success secret, the book title, and this is the book ID. So now we will use this book ID to search for this particular book because there are multiple books. Let's say there are hundred of books. Need some ID, right, to search through that book. So these are all the settings you need to know for vector embedding a particular document. Now we will go for the retrieving tool. Okay. So let me just first show you how the chat works. I'm going to open a chat and 1 second. Now let's say I want answers from this particular book. I need to insert this book ID. Okay. And then let's say you want to modify how you are getting these answers. Okay. Let's say you need a shorter answer or you need a longer answer or you want the book to mention, sorry, you want the chat answer to mention the book chapter or let's say the page number. All those modifications you can do in this system message. Okay. In this system message, you can give all the information how you want the output. You can also toggle this on and set a particular format. Then we have to configure another tool. Maybe I'll make a separate video on that. And so let me show you the settings of this. This is basically agent is the tools agent, connected chat trigger node. Prompt is basically what you are typing on the chat window. In this case, we are not toggling this on. Then this is the system prompt. And then as the chat model, I am using GPT-4 or mini. Let me just change it to GPT-5 Nano. GPT-5 Nano is more than enough for this. Add option, no, we're not going to do anything for that. Windows buffer memory context is basically, let's say, the last 5 chat. It will remember that chat so that it can answer more contextually. Supabase vector node. Now the operation mode is retrieve documents, unlike earlier we were using insert document. And description is pretty simple. Use the vector store tool to answer questions about the book. Table name, again, we are retrieving from documents table in our Supabase vector table, so that we have to specify. Limit is 12, means how many chunks it's going to retrieve when generating the answer. You can see, right? Here are 12 chunks from 0 to 11. So it has, so how it is working, like when you are asking a question, it's going to retrieve 12 chunks from the vector database. And then from those chunks, it's going to summarize the answer. Okay. Query name, all these things you can basically add from here. So let's say delete this and add option query name. Match documents. Why match documents? Because this is a function that basically searches this table in the SQL database, in my Supabase database, to get those information. And how I am filtering about this book, this is the filter book ID, and this is the book ID what we have inserted during the embedding. Okay, I hope I have shown you everything. Save. Let me ask another question. What are the top 5 learnings one can get from this book? Based on the content retrieved, here that okay. If you don't want to show your user this thing, you can just modify the system prompt in the AI agent. Build and rely on success team, master effective constructive communication, prioritize time management to maintain momentum, know how to select and manage your team, leverage mindset and language to foster growth. And these takeaways are drawn from the introduction and various chapter summaries and secret. The excerpt reference, the excerpts reference things. Okay, see, this is a really intelligent answer, because instead of just selecting 12 chunks from 12 random pages, it just selected the summaries of each chapter. And if there is maybe, let's say, 15 chapters, from 12 chapters, it got the summaries and then it is answered. So, as you can see, pretty awesome. Let me know if you have any questions or you want me to make another advanced book RAG agent. Just drop in the comment below. If you want to build this on n8n and having any problem, just drop in the comment. And if it helped you, please drop comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.